Booming out in South Gwinnett like Lou will. 6 man like Lou will. 2 girls and they get along like I'm Lou will. I just got the new deal. I'm the Matrix and I just took the blue pill. Oh, here goes. And welcome to the 94th episode of Throwback Hoops. Woody V is in the house. And as always, I'm joined by my main man, Robbie Clayton. What's up, Robbie?
What's up, bro? Good to have you back rapping for a second week in a row. And I know it's obviously based on the jersey you're wearing today. Thoughts of Magic City, right, when I hear the name Lou Will?
Yeah, for sure, man. As always, follow the show on YouTube and wherever you listen to your podcast. I'll talk a little bit more about that verse I just dropped from Drake in a minute, because I am actually wearing the Lou Will jersey today, Robbie. So we'll get into that in a minute. So without further ado, let's get into it, shall we? We've got an Atlanta Hawks theme a little bit today, do we?
Sounds good, yeah. Well, I know we're going to talk a little bit about the City Edition jerseys on this episode, so I thought it's a good time to rock the last 2 years worth of City Edition for the Hawks. So I'm not going to do the full spiel on the players this time. I normally don't do that with the current sort of players, but you can see hanging behind me is the 2 years ago 21-22 City Edition Trae Young jersey. Got to say, Woods, really like that one. I like a good yellow jersey. Took me ages to find that one, actually. They seem to have sold out really quickly, so big fan of that one there. And yeah, slightly more obscure player than I'm rocking for last year's City Edition, so I'll just stand up and show you this one. You can tell me what you think of this style of jersey.
For sure. For those who can't see, Robbie's wearing the Atlanta City Edition AJ Griffin jersey. Last year's, so yeah.
I'm going to say, I've had this jersey sitting behind me today, and every time I've seen it, you know what, I really like that jersey. I like the colours, obviously the Peachtree sort of style, based on Atlanta there, the Peachtree state. Yeah, I'm liking that. The font of the number, a little bit strange, don't you reckon? The 14's a little bit of a strange font, but I do like this one. Yeah, a little bit on AJ Griffin though, Woods. He's someone that I really enjoyed watching last year. I wanted to get a rookie jersey last year, and I got his one. Definitely a bit of a drop this year, right? He averaged 8.5 points last year, only averaging 3.4 points a game this year. His minutes are way down as well. So he had a DNP CD in that last game on the weekend. I don't think he's played more than 12 minutes in a game all season. He pretty much just comes on and jacks a few threes now, and that's it. So, yeah, obviously the depth of our team, the Hawks, it's probably going to mean that he's not going to get the minutes that he probably hoped for. But, it's a long season in the NBA, isn't it, Woods? We know if someone gets an injury, it's a next man up mentality, and he's certainly someone that could step in. I like what he's got, though. He's only 20 years of age, product out of Duke there. We know his dad's coaching the Bucks. I think we're going to talk a little bit about the Bucks later in the show as well, Adrian Griffin. But yeah, just sort of rock these ones there, and I'll be interested to. I will get a Hawk City Edition jersey this year, just not sure of what player yet, but add to the collection, right?
Yeah, I do like that one, man. So just for our listeners, remind us again, that's obviously last year's one.
Yeah, the Trae's the year before, so this is the last 2 years worth, yeah. So since they've really started doing them, I missed out on, I think I might have had one about 4 years ago, and I missed out on the one, I forget even what it said now. It was a bit of a random one they had 3 years ago that I didn't buy, which is unlike me, but yeah. And what about yourself there? You're rocking the all in red today, matching headphones, Lou Will. Show it off for us, bro.
For sure.
So Woods is standing up, rocking the Lou Will, Mitchell and Ness with the matching shorts. I like that. He's got the full outfit on. Jeez. Even the shorts, Woods. You normally don't go to that much trouble, right?
No, I did. I thought I would today. And you know what? Shout out to the High Rollers, our basketball team, who actually got me this jersey for my 40th birthday, as well as this hat, and also a special Hawks jersey with my name on the back and the number 40 to signify me turning 40. So to all my teammates listening to this, thank you guys so much. It was such a thoughtful gift, right?
Hey, Woods, just to check, it's not a Marco Bellinelli Hawks jersey, is it? It's definitely Lou Williams, that one, right?
It's definitely Lou.
They rock the same number. Yep. Nice. No, that's a nice one, that.
Yeah, so just a little bit about Lou Williams. He is just one of the greatest sixth man of all time. Just coming off the bench and able to, without even warming up, just get it going straight away, right? So he was a three-time NBA Sixth Man of the Year, actually, in 2015, 18, and 19. He's now aged 37. He was the 45th overall pick in the second round of the 2005 NBA draft. His high school was South Gwinnett. You would have heard me just say drop the Gwinnett in that rap verse from Drake, which was actually a song called Six Man, which is a shout out to Lou Williams. Anyway, Lou Williams was a combo guard, let's say point guard, shooting guard, wore the numbers 23, 3, 12, and 6, as you would know, Robbie. And his career was started with Philadelphia in those early days, 2005, then moved to Atlanta, Toronto, the Lakers, the Rockets, the Clippers, and then finished off just last year at the Atlanta Hawks. So I know he's a big favorite of yours, right? Yeah.
Well, if you remember rightly, Woods, I did a double Lou Will jersey in an early episode. I rocked his Philadelphia 23 and then a Hawks number 3 as well. So, yeah, someone I absolutely loved the way he went about it there. Such a smooth player there. It's funny, I think if he wanted to really fight hard and try and get a spot at the end of a bench, the last couple of seasons he potentially could have, but I think he was happy just to, fade away. He's done what he likes to do. He was actually on Trae Young's podcast recently. I'm not sure if you heard that. It was actually a really good podcast hearing those two talk about it, and obviously they've both got a lot of respect for each other. I mentioned Magic City as well, Woods. Are the rumours true that you're planning on going there next year to try some of the Lou Will chicken wings, or is that just a rumour at this stage?
That place doubles up not only as a place where you can eat, but also get some adult entertainment, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, I hadn't realised that. I just thought it was a food place. Oh, right. Yeah.
We'll see what Rachel says, right? Maybe we'll just go and get some wings, right?
Sure. Yeah, just some wings. Just some wings.
If we're there, we got to go, right?
Oh, we have to, right? We have to. Yeah.
I'll wear this jersey there.
Yeah, you might get it for free.
Lose a few because, it's my gut showing this one. So, yeah, just quickly, so I can, delve into that a little bit further. He was the subject of the song by the Canadian rapper Drake I just spoke about. It was called The Six Man, Robbie. On Drake's mixtape, if you're reading this, it's too late. Drake referenced Williams' role, not only the six man for the Raptors, but his 2 girlfriends, which he had at the same time, right? So he was a character on and off the court, wasn't he?
He was, and these are probably some of the reasons why he decided not to come back, right? He had a lot of off-court activities going on already. So he actually told a good story on that podcast with Trae, about that time when he did leave the bubble there and how there was all the controversy there. It was quite interesting. I think he met up with rapper Jack Harlan there at Magic City, and apparently he actually did have clearance to go there, which was a little bit strange. But then, all things sort of, he ended up getting thrown under the bus a little bit. But, yeah, quite an interesting sort of story and a look back on that time in the bubble as well. He's saying at the time he'd been there 80 days in a row, and a friend had passed away and he had to go to the memorial, and they basically went to Magic City for 1 or 2 drinks after that. So, yeah, quite interesting to hear him talk about that. And, yeah, certainly a player I love watching, right?
Yeah, for sure. And he actually did get clearance from the NBA to attend a funeral viewing for Paul G. Williams, the father of a family friend, right? So that was that incident you speak of, right? In 2020, I think it was, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, great. Nice to have the Atlanta Hawks team today, man.
Good theme, yep.
So let's get into it. I know you did mention the city jerseys, right? So I'm just going to bring them up and let's maybe just go through and give our picks, the ones that we sort of like and we don't like. So I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah, and we did this as well last year, right, Woods? And a lot of people sort of enjoyed sort of seeing the feedback and everything. It's interesting, I got number 14 for the Hawks one, so maybe I have to get the 14 again there. Right, do you want me to get into it? My thoughts?
Give me the 2 that you like to start off with, yeah?
Mate, probably apart from yourself, no one really likes jerseys as much as I do, right? Last year I really enjoyed them. That I had to pick a few that I liked, and it was quite hard. This year it almost seems like the opposite. I know we sort of, you set a task, pick 2 I like, pick 2 I don't like. I've got to say, on a whole, these are pretty awful, Woods. There's just some of them, there doesn't seem to be a lot of effort that have gone into these. I think it's definitely a step down on last year's ones. There's some odd team nicknames and colours and sort of weird fonts and stuff like that. That sort of seems to be the first thing I think of. Just looking at some of these now, that, Chicago, written the way it's written on that one's strange. And then you get some of these other ones like, the City of Brotherly Love on the Philly one. You can pretty much only read brotherly there, which is a bit strange. The Denver Nuggets, 5280. Like, seriously, what the heck is that? How many people had to actually look up what that actually means? So that's exactly, so did I. So that's like the altitude in Denver, right? So, if I start off with 2 I don't like, then Wood. So Denver's one of them. I mean, come on, 5280. That's just, unless they want people just to Google to find that out. The colours aren't amazing on that one as well. So that's a don't like for me, definitely. The other one I don't like, look, some people might say I hate on the Heat a little bit on this show, Woods. I actually used to love the Miami Heat teams. I'm not such a big fan now, but not a big fan of this Heat culture business and that jersey there. I don't mind the colours, but just culture, and I think it's a bit wanky if I'm being completely honest. So they'd be the two that I don't like. Also, before I get into the two I do like, I'm giving 3 a fail, Woods. So just an F and a grade for that, right? So New York, just like, come on, put some effort in. It looks like a normal jersey with a blurry New York font, so that's a fail for me. Another fail is Memphis. That just looks really plain, that one. Just a dodgy-looking font there, and I'm not a fan of that one at all. And pretty much the same with the Clippers. I just don't feel like the Clippers one, they've put a lot of effort in. I guess a couple of honourable mentions before I mention my 2 favourite ones there. I don't mind the New Orleans one. I saw them rocking that one against the Hawks on the weekend. It doesn't look amazing in that picture there, but when you see it on the court, it pops. The colours look pretty good there. So that's kind of an honourable mention for me there. And look, Homer hat on. I don't mind the Hawks one. I must admit, the lower case is a little bit strange. It kind of reminds me of the Alt key on a keyboard, even though it's ATL and not ALT. You know, the Alt button on a keyboard there. A little bit strange, but I sort of like the history. That's the colours they first, had when they came over from St. Louis there. So I don't mind those colours. The Hawks haven't worn that one yet, but I think that probably will look pretty good in the flesh. So that's honourable mentions. But look, you told me to pick 2 I like. It was a really hard task. There's one absolute standout for me. So I don't know who you've picked. I'm interested to see if this is one of you 2 you like. So Sacramento is the absolute best one for me there. Really like that one. It's a bit of a flashback to those old school jerseys they had, prior to them going to Sacramento, maybe the Rochester Kings or something, I think, off the top of my head. Just like the colours on that one. The font's a little bit strange, but I think that one looks good. So that's probably my favourite one there. Finding a second favourite one was hard, but I don't mind the Lakers one. So I'm going to say the Lakers one. It's a busy sort of jersey with the Los Angeles and everything else like that, but it fills up the jersey a bit more than, say, the Indy one does. Two from the left from it there, but the Lakers one. So I guess just to recap, the 2 I like, Sacramento and Lakers. Honourable mentions there were Atlanta. Who else did I say now? Atlanta's definitely one of the honourable mentions, and New Orleans as well. And the 2 that I don't like at all are Denver and Miami. And then also the fails are New York, Memphis, and the Clippers. So that was a hard task finding 2 from them. A little bit disappointing on a whole, I've got to say, Woods. What were your thoughts on these ones?
I did ask you to start with the ones you like, but you finished with the ones you like. So
I just started rambling. I sort of got them up there. I started getting all passionate again and everything like that. So that's my whole take on those.
Yeah, look, for me, I like those bottom 4. I mean, I thought San Antonio and Toronto down the bottom were really nice, right? I didn't mind them at all. And those 4 in a row right there, Kings, San Antonio, Toronto, and Utah, they're okay,
San Antonio, I'll pay that one. Yeah, I don't mind that.
Nice, man. I like the white, I would get one of those, right? And San Antonio have got very plain jerseys in general, so that one's a little bit different with the orange, and I don't mind it, right? And the ones I didn't really like are Atlanta and the Nets, man. I don't know. I just thought the ATL and the small fonts, I don't know. I wasn't a big fan of it. I mean,
you like the colours at least, the Atlanta one?
The colours are okay. I'm just not a fan of the font there, right?
And what about, before you give the rest, what do you think of some of the nicknames, like the Valley and Brotherly Love and Heat Culture and all these sort of ones, and Buzz City? Are you a fan of these sort of things? Or?
Not at all. I'm pretty much not a fan of many of these jerseys, man.
Yeah.
I didn't mind the Buzz City one. That's Charlotte, I presume, right?
Yeah, it seems similar to ones they've had in the past. But yeah, I'll give it. I like it. You said the Utah one. I mean, it seems like a very similar one to like they've had in the past. But I agree, it looks okay.
It's okay. Yeah. It's a bit like the New York one as well, right? But at least you can't go wrong with it. The New York one's just like one that they used to have back in the day, right? Like
just with a blurry font.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, if you can get them at NBA store now, if you want to order them, are you thinking of getting an Atlanta one this year? Yeah? I'm
definitely going to get an Atlanta one and keep up the tradition. I think we spoke about it earlier today. I'm not sure who to get. I feel like I don't have many current Hawk jerseys. I've got quite a few Traes. I've got an Okongu and I've got this AJ Griffin, but I need to step up and maybe get a Bogey or I don't know. You know how much I love Jalen Johnson, so he's definitely one that I'm looking at getting soon. I'm loving the way he's playing this year. Or Patty Mills is definitely one I'd consider there. And also, I was half looking at a Nas Reed Minnesota one of these. My little bit of my man crush on Nas Reed. I'm not sure about those jerseys with kind of the snow sort of wintry mountaintop there, so I'm not sure if it'll be that one. But yeah, what about yourself? Are you going to grab one? Or?
Yeah, maybe a San Antonio one if I'm going to get one. The Wemby one. That would be nice.
Yeah, Wemby would be a good jersey to get, wouldn't it? Rather than just that standard one that we've probably got 5 each of, the standard black or white ones. Yeah, good call. Good call.
All right, so while we're on the topic of colors and things like that. The NBA in-season tournament started. Firstly, a couple of things. What are your thoughts on the tournament? Is there any significance to it? Are people actually following it? Are you following it? And what do you think of these colorful courts?
Well, so I try and be a positive person in life, right? That's kind of the way I've tried to reinvent myself over these last few years, and it seems to be going well for me. But yeah, I'm not sure about this whole in-season tournament. I watched a little bit on the weekend. Felt like I needed to get some sunglasses out to watch some of the games. I mean, that Chicago Bulls court was bright red, was really hurting my eyes there. I've had to look up a few times exactly what it entails there. I know Hawks have got their first one, I think, in a couple of days there. And you can see why they're trying to do it. They're trying to change the colours and just let people know, okay, this isn't a normal round game there. But I think it feels like business as usual, right, for casual fans like us. It still counts as normal standings there. It still counts as normal, for our fantasy teams there. So not a whole lot changes there, right? So I don't know. I do like the ad. Have you seen the ad that they've had on NBA with like the full one when they're in Vegas, like the Ocean's 11 top one? That actually cracked me up when Draymond came in as a delivery guy, and you know the one I mean. Trae's on it. That's that. I'll pay that one. I like that ad, but yeah, I can't get too enthused about it. And honestly, say Hawks were to make the final in Vegas next month or something, it wouldn't really bother me whether they won or lost because it is just another regular season game essentially. But yeah, you sort of thinking the same? Or?
Yeah, Robbie, for our audience who's not 100% sure how it works, I know you've done your little bit of research and stuff. How many games did they play? How does it work? Who plays the final?
Yeah, so obviously 30 teams. They've put them into groups of 5, I think, right? So groups of 6 with 5 teams each.
Yep.
And yeah, you basically play all those teams like in pool games. Still counts as your regular season games, and then they eventually go through to a finals thing. But you still essentially, so that the final will be a one extra game. That I think that game there won't count in standings or in fantasy and stuff like that. But essentially, they'll keep playing as well. So let's use the Hawks for an example because we're talking about them. So say they don't make it through the group stages there, they'll still play like some consolation games against those teams in the group there just to continue those games there. So apparently a lot of all the stadiums have got their home courts on standby for the first, I think, week in December there. So because they're not sure if they're going to be hosting any more games. So that's a bit of a bummer for some of the teams, probably turning away some potential business there because they don't know what will be happening there. But that's probably as much as my research sort of showed me there. But yeah, again, I don't know. I can see why they're doing it. They're trying to sort of do some different things to shake it up, but I'm not sure it entirely works. I mean, could they maybe scrap the pre-season next year and try this as a pre-season thing and give, some of these more unheralded guys more opportunities and, do something like that maybe? I don't know.
A bit like the NBL Blitz. Now tell me, how do you qualify for that final?
Well, I think it just goes down on head-to-head record and everything else like that, right? So I think it's going to be a semi. So I think if there's 6 pools there, I think there'll be maybe the 2 that come out of it, and they go from basically 12 to that's about as much as my research shows. So I probably need to do a bit more. As you can see, I haven't been too up on it, sort of thing. But like I said, for me, it feels like business as usual. It still counts as a win or loss in the standing for the team that I love and support, and it still gives me the stats of my fantasy team. So it doesn't change a whole lot there, right?
Me too, and I've just been following it like a regular season game, right? So
did you get sunglasses out when you put on the games on the weekend?
I had to look twice when the first game was on. I was like, is that just some graphics from ESPN there? Oh, that's actually what the court looks like. So I don't know if it's going to catch on, right? It'll be nice to get the thoughts from our viewers and our listeners. Right in, what do you think about this?
Good call.
In-season tournament. Okay, let's move on. I want to talk a little bit about the Bucks, right? Now, the Bucks, I want to talk about their defensive struggles a little bit. I know they had a little bit of a trade-off. We're going to get rid of Drew Holiday, and we're going to, get Dame Lillard to come in here and partner Giannis, right?
Yeah.
They've been giving up a lot of points, right? And they put their back on the 2 great rim protectors in Giannis and Brook Lopez. I mean, Toronto put 130 points, I think, on them the other day, and they shot 19 from 21 from the painted area. So what's going on there? I mean, Chris Middleton's obviously was a great defender previously, and you could rely on him. He's obviously on a minutes restriction and isn't at full health, but they've really taken a hit on that end of the floor.
No, they have. I mean, firstly, obviously, a new coach coming in, first-time head coach in Adrian Griffin, father of AJ here. So I think he's finding that the head coaching, game in the NBA is quite a difficult one there. So I think probably he's making some adjustments there. Look, I guess I'll start off with the interior players first. So we saw Brook Lopez got 8 block shots against the Knicks on that game on the weekend. I think prior to that, he'd only had 3 or 4 the whole season. So he certainly hadn't been protecting the rim like he normally would. Giannis is obviously a great defender there. Maybe gets a little bit too much credit, I think, in my opinion. He's certainly an above-average defender. But look, the big hit there is their perimeter defenders. They've lost Drew Holiday and replaced him with Dame Lillard. I watched that game really closely against the Knicks. I think I might have messaged on our group chat. His defense was outrageously bad, Woods. I'm telling you. Like, it was so bad. Jalen Brunson just had his way with him the whole time. And it felt like Dame wasn't even trying it sometimes there. And that's, again, you're playing this 82-game season. You see players taking, not only plays off, they're taking games off at times at certain ends of the court there. But that was pretty alarming for me. He just he couldn't be bothered doing anything basically to try and stop Jalen Brunson. It was more just, yes, he did get some points himself in that game there, but it's a game that's played at both ends there. You're right about Chris.
Brunson put a 40-piece on him, 45, I think.
He did, just dominated him too. Dominated. And Dame got the headlines, obviously, because they came back and he scored well in the fourth quarter. But you're definitely right about Chris Middleton, though. His defense has really slowed down. Everything has slowed down for him, right? Like his speed, his ability to score. He was a great one-on-one offensive player before. That seems to have gone out the window. So, yeah, look, I wouldn't say it's alarm bells yet for the Bucks, but yeah, you're right. Giving up some of these points totals for a team that is expected to be so good defensively is a bit of a worry. So they've got to turn things around.
130 from the Raptors, 127 from our Hawks. They're sitting at 3-2. Actually, he made a really good point there. There was a lot of criticism for Coach Bud last year, right? But he's a defensive-minded coach, a really good coach on the defensive end, right? And AJ Griffin coming into his first head coaching position.
Adrian Griffin.
Apologies. It's gonna be a transition as well, right?
Well, he was a really good defender himself, wasn't he, when he played in the league? A lot of viewers will remember his time with the Bulls amongst a few other teams, and he was a bit of a hard-nosed, defensive-minded player there. So, look, it's probably just trying to get that new scheme there. I know they've had a bit of a shake-up in the coaching staff there. But, yeah, like you're right, they've got to turn things around quickly, right? Because, they can't always outscore teams there. They've got some firepower for sure, and guys, that big three in Dame and Giannis, but they need to turn things around, absolutely.
Yep. And we'll see. It's early days yet, so we'll see how it plays out. Let's give them some time and see where this goes with them, right? Still, I like what they've done this year with their team, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on. Let's talk about the Spurs. Wemby had his breakout game the other day, 38 piece, I think, against Phoenix.
38 points, Yep.
The Spurs actually look decent, man. Can they be decent this year? Can they potentially, look at getting into a play-in spot or even qualifying for the playoffs?
It's funny for me, they've always been a team, especially the last few years, that I just have not bothered watching on League Pass. I find their style's a little bit vanilla, a little bit boring there, but every time I see the Spurs on there, I can't wait to watch them. Got quite a few players on their fantasy teams. I've got Jones. Zach Collins is having a breakout season this year. He is playing really well. Hasn't got a lot of attention there, but he put up huge numbers again today, so he's a chance of most improved player in this small sample size. But yeah, in terms of Wemby, he's really found his stride these last few games. He's hitting the three a bit more regularly. I think he might have blocked double-figure shots maybe in his last 2 games or so. And for him as well, it's the shots that he changes as well, right? So he's like, people are not going into the driving to the basket when he's there. He's a very smart player. He runs a pretty good screen and roll there. He can sort of catch it in the air and at all different angles and put the ball in. So no, he's must-watch. I sent you that picture yesterday of him standing next to Kevin Durant. It was just outrageous, that picture. I mean, it's like you could see how big the guy is, like how much taller than KD, who's we know is 6'11/7 foot there. So in terms of how far they can go, look, I think the playoffs are still a stretch. The West is still going to be really competitive there. There's probably going to have to be a couple of teams that drop off that maybe we don't expect there, so I'm not sure who they'd be yet. So I'm still not going to say they go and challenge for the playoffs or the play-in, but maybe I could revise their win total a little bit. So I think I might have had them going in the overs, but potentially they could win, up to 35 games, I would have thought, if he keeps playing like this. It depends on Doc Emmett Brown's coaching, whether he's going to, try and sit him down. But I like the job he's doing so far. And I love that Wemby cares so much as well, Woods. Have you seen what he's like after a win or a loss there? He takes those losses really hard and he's really pumped up after a win. So great to see that. And he's going a little bit better than that rookie in Portland as well, who's shooting 9% on the three-point line, I should add. So
he's injured now, Scoot. Yeah, just quickly, his stats, Wemby's 20.5 points a game, shooting 49% from the field, 31% from three-point land, 8.2 rebounds, 1.2 steals, and 2.7 blocks per game. Those are pretty impressive numbers.
Would you say he's a lock for the All-Star game? I know it's hard for rookies to get voted in, right? So not a lock at the stage. What if the fans? I mean, the fans can't vote him in completely like they did back in the day, right? But
starting lineup.
If he puts up numbers like this, he should definitely make it. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see it.
I mean, hit that rookie wall,
That's it.
Right? It's early on.
And will his body hold up? It's a long season against some physical dudes. Yeah.
all of those factors. But just quietly, I got offered Marcus Smart for Trae Jones in one of our leagues. Would you take that trade?
I mean, Trae Jones could eventually be starting, right? If that Sohan experiment fails at point guard there, Trae Jones could be playing a few more minutes there. So, yeah.
And when Morant comes back as well in like 20 games, Marcus Smart's going to take hits. So you'd hold on to Trae Jones is what you're saying to me.
Possibly would, yeah. Marcus, Ja Morant will come back with a bang, though, as well, Woods, if you know what I mean.
For sure. Okay, I want to talk a little bit about your guy, Julius Randle, right?
Do we have to?
We have to, right?
All right.
I'm just going to put a stat out to you right here. Through the first 5 games of an NBA regular season, he is shooting worse than anyone has since our boy Jimmy Jackson did in 2000. So we're talking 23 years since someone has had such a poor shooting start to this season. I'm just going to bring up some of his stats. You can speak on it while I'm doing that. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I've got to say, it's been pretty disappointing. I know you've got him in one fantasy team, I've got him in another there, but yeah, averaging 13.7 points. He's yet to score over 20 points, which is an absolute shock. The guy averaged 25.1 points a game last year. 4 years in a row before that, he'd also averaged over 20, so he's in a massive slump. I mean, he's had times where his field goal percentage has been a little bit low, but yeah, shooting 27% from the floor. This seems to me, Woods, like a classic case of a guy that's just fallen in love with the three-point shot too much. So I'm going to talk you through his total three-point attempts. This is a bit of a shock, right? So yeah, so he played one game of the first season, got injured, so he won't count that. But since then, right? So with the Lakers, it was 36, then 63, then 45. Then he got traded to the Pelicans, or free agent of the Pelicans, 195. 231 and with the Knicks, and then 389, 390. Can you see how many he took last year? 636. So that's over 8 attempts a game. So 8 attempts from your big inside bruising sort of power forward. So I really think he's probably fallen in love with the three a little bit too much, and he needs to just see the ball go in the basket. He's a big physical guy, right? He's a left-hander, which is always an advantage down low because guys don't seem to recognise that. So I like to see him get to the basket a bit more, but geez, it's a big drop-off, isn't it? He's been All-NBA 2 of the last 3 years as well. So it's a really big slump there. I know he's probably not the most popular player in New York as well, so they're probably not enjoying that, the Knicks faithful there. But what are your thoughts? What do you think he needs to do to turn around?
27.1% from the field and 22% from the three-point land, right? I mean, he's just got to take better shots. He's got to be more selective about what he's doing. Get on the rim, put some heat on the rim, as you said. Get to the free throw line, see if you go down that way, right? Because New York are going to need him. They really are going to need him if they're going to make a push this year, right? And you look at the stats that he put up last year. I know he had a great year last year. 45.9% from the field, 35% from the three-point territory, right? So I mean, these are historically bad numbers.
Yeah, really bad. I mean, look, the Knicks are lucky they've got Jalen Bronson at the moment, right, because he's really keeping him in some of these games. Look, I'm confident he'll turn around. I don't think the guy could have dropped off that much. I mean, what are we talking? The guy's 28, so he still should be in the absolute prime of his career. Had some early injuries, and in his career he seems like he's been healthy for a decent while now. So I've got confidence he'll turn it around, but yeah, geez, it's pretty hard to watch at the moment.
Yep. Let's see how it plays out. I drafted him in fantasy this year, hoping that he'd do good for me.
Yeah, well, I was so annoyed you picked him over me. I think I cursed you when it happened, but I'm actually happy about that at the moment.
Awesome. Well, the NBA has been really fun. I'm looking forward to see how these storylines play out over the coming...
Hey, one quick thing, Woods. We should have a quick mention about Hawks, though, right? So I think at this time of recording last week, we just won our first game after losing the first 2. So Hawks have won 4 in a row now. I watched that whole game with Ems on the weekend against the Pelicans. They were really impressive there. Really impressive second half. And again, the depth of this team. I keep mentioning Jalen Johnson. Put the Hawks League Pass on because you're never going to see him on ESPN. Watch what this guy's doing now. He's putting up highlight reel plays. Seems to score over 20 nearly every game. Really liking what they're doing there. I know they've got a game in Mexico, I think, this week. I saw there's no games one of the days as well. So I should say, I always like to say as well, the time of recording is Monday the 6th of November. But yeah, the Hawks play, I think, tomorrow against OKC. So shout out to Stu from the Sports Blokes boys. There's no games the next day, and then I think Hawks go to Mexico after that. So yeah, really enjoying the way they're playing this year. DeJounte as well seems to have gone up a level there. So love the way that guy is just automatic from the mid-range, gets to the basket, hangs in the air, changes hands. So yeah, really liking what I'm seeing so far.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a little bit of shift with all the analytics saying three-pointers and at the rim, right? there are guys who can be effective from the mid-range. Your Chris Pauls, your DeJounte Murrays. There's
Yeah.
still a place for it in today's game. Your DeRozans, you know. I don't think the mid-range is completely dead, and
Yeah.
someone like DeJounte is showing that. Okay, great. I want to talk a little bit about the NBL. Okay, let's just
do
look
it.
back. Let's just look back on the week that's the round that has just passed. It's not finished yet. We got a big game today.
Big game tonight. So about less than 2 hours at the time of recording now. Of course, Perth playing, and I think the reason they're doing that, it is a public holiday for horse racing. Probably not my most favoured sport there, but yeah, Melbourne. So they're doing that game tonight. I believe it's a sellout. I think I heard. But yeah, so I guess So you want some thoughts on the round, right? So far.
Yeah. Why don't you talk to us about your Wildcats who got a much needed win to start off?
Yeah, mate, I was very happy with that. I spoke about my dissatisfaction last week. So, yeah, look, it's only one game, but it did feel a lot better against the 36ers there. And it was great to see Bryce Cotton really show what he's made of there. He came out, he seemed really fired up, didn't he? He was pumping up himself, pumping up the crowd there. So I like it when he plays with that kind of emotion. I like the shift as well that Coach really did, putting Hiram Harris in the starting lineup. Yeah, so they benched Jordan Usher. And the thing is, Usher came on and played really well off the bench. So,
he did.
Well, traditionally the bench guys will come on and play against the other team's second unit. So he's playing against some guys that are struggling a little bit to contain him. I like the little shift they did there. A lot less minute for the Webster boys.
Lot less.
Not sure how they're going to take that. Are they going to be sort of good, teammates there and take that? Especially Corey Webster. He was barely sighted in that game. I think he might have played 8 or 9 minutes there. So it was good to see that. Michael Harris got benched a little bit. Sarr got more minutes, so still no time for Ben Henschel. But I like that he did make some changes there, and I like that the Perth crowd got behind him as well. They came out in numbers for that game, really cheered loudly for the team, and got him over the line. But look, again, it's a really tough ask going to play in Melbourne against United. There, they are the absolute standout team in the competition. Some good matchups in this one though, Woods. Looking forward to see guys like Sarr and Huck Porty, the two next stars, going against each other there. We'll see Golding and Cotton blaze away from outside, I'm sure. So looking forward to this one later. But yeah, in terms of, I guess...
Quickly.
Yeah.
That must be nice to see Bryce Cotton find some form again.
Oh, 100%, yeah. I mean, he was really good in that game. Like I said, just playing with all that passion and, showing that he's still got that game, right? Just a game-changing sort of player there. He was getting 3-point and 1 opportunities again and everything like that. So, no, it's hopefully he continues it again.
Yep.
Look, in terms of the other games around, look, the Kings were good. Obviously, they got a 2-0 weekend there. I know you'll talk a little bit about the game you watched yesterday. Well, I didn't think they were entirely convincing there. I think I might have made a bold prediction last week that maybe the Hawks might have beaten the Kings. I couldn't have been any more off on that one there. Did I make that out loud? Maybe I didn't. I don't know. But the Kings dominated the Freeway Series game there. Look, Cairns were probably a little bit disappointing, dropping their games there. Missing the little nuggety point guard there. And the one for me I wanted to comment before you give your thoughts was New Zealand yesterday, Woods. I thought they were absolutely terrible down the stretch there. I don't know what Anthony Lamb was doing, attempting to miss that free throw with, 12 seconds left in the game? I've never seen a player do that with such time left. That's the thing you do when there's maybe 3 seconds left in the game, not 12 seconds,
He did get the ball back. He did
get the ball back, and he blew a layup. Yeah, but that ruins what I said. But yeah, no, he totally did. But geez, they missed some opportunities, did they? I thought the law firm was a little bit reckless with some of those plays near the end. He was jacking a few things up there. But yeah, disappointing finish for them. I can't imagine Murdy would have been very pleased with them after the game. There might have been some choice words.
Would have told Anthony Lamb to do that.
I agree.
I bet you he had
I agree. And you're right. If it came off and worked, it would have been 2 instead of that 1 that he potentially could have got there. But no, it just seemed a very strange move to do with so much time left. And yeah, your boy Bruce, he got that lucky bounce on that shot. But why don't you start there with me? Give us your thoughts. What were your thoughts on going to your first live game for the season?
Oh, it was terrific. A good crowd in. I was actually right under the rim there right behind the rim there when Anthony Lamb did that. So no, it was a great crowd. It was an ugly game to watch. Even in Illawarra, we started really ugly in that first, quarter, but then got it together. Look, we'll take the 2 wins. One thing I did notice is Jonah Bolden. I don't know why he's playing so sparingly. And he doesn't play him for many minutes, right? And he had really bad body language when he got benched, for the second time. He was we remember how he was pouting and he wasn't very happy at the Boomers camp many years ago when he wasn't playing enough and things like that. That just a little storyline to look at here, because I noticed that on the bench. But I still think Coach Mahmood needs to play more. The guy's started the season great, rebounding the ball beautifully, doing all the things that have been asked of him. But I think he just prefers to go with Geordie Hunter.
Well, again, though, Woods, this goes back to our theory about coaches playing too many players, right? You know, you're playing 40-minute games, you're playing 1-2 games a week maximum. Why? You know, I saw Cotton played 38 minutes against Adelaide. Why are they playing, 10 or 11 guys? And we saw they got a bit of, success off the bench, didn't they? Maliwach came on and played well, but I think there's, probably still a little bit too much Bruce, a little bit too much Glover, and those guys are potentially playing a bit much. What's your thoughts on Jalen Adams this year? I feel like I always expect a little bit more from him as a former MVP. I always think if you didn't know he was a former league MVP 2 years ago and you watch it, you'd be surprised if someone told you. That's the thing, something I always think about him. You think he's settled back in okay? Or?
Yeah, he's in cruise control a little bit. You almost feel like if he wants to turn it on, he can at the drop of a hat, right? I think we'll see him come to the fore. Even last year, a couple of seasons ago when he was MVP, he started off a bit slow, and towards the back end of the season, he really put the Jets on. So I'm not too concerned there about him. I'm not 100% convinced about this Kings team, right? It doesn't feel like the last 2 years when we were, it felt like we were going to win the championship both years. I'm just not getting that feeling this year. And I left the Kudos Bank Arena yesterday, although happy we won, just a bit unsatisfied with the way we played, So, yeah.
It's probably still a lot of new players on that team. Is it a new coach? You've got 3 new imports coming in. You've got a next star guy. There is a lot of turnover in that team. But saying that, what are we, 7 or 8 games into the season? So we're more than a quarter of into it. So maybe that should have worn off by now, and they should know each other more. But look, they're still coming. What, second or third? Second. So it shows that you're a hard taskmaster these days when you're used to your team having success, right?
Yeah, for sure. Well, you get like that, right?
And,
Maliwach, you mentioned him. Terrific, man. What a find. And I've said it to you offline. The last 3 years, we've had this habit of just uncovering guys and really giving them a new lease on life and them finding a new career, whether it be Wani Swakala Bullock, then Kawat Noi, and then Maliwach. This year, I'm really impressed with his development, and you're not surprised, obviously, watching him with Darwin in the NBL 1, right?
No, he was definitely impressive. The Kings have got a great track record with some of these South Sudanese players, don't they? They've sort of had a number of them over the years and seem to get the best out of them, so it's good. And Cairns are probably the other team that we think of as well there. But no, it's good to see someone from the NBL 1, a couple of years ago coming in and playing so well.
And a quick shout out to Justin Schull. I mean, Brisbane are playing great basketball. They beat SEM, right? And then they went into Tasmania into a tough environment and basically were very close to winning the game. So I like the trajectory Brisbane is on. I had him, I think, at about maybe 8th or I think I had him as 8th, and so did you, right?
What about the young big guy as well? He's just putting up massive numbers, right?
And Tyrell Harrison could be most improved player here if he continues.
No, I mean Bannon.
Bannon, he's awesome. He's not a. I would say he's a 3-4 man, right? He's a bit more versatile.
Yeah.
I saw the interview with Josh Bannon after that game against SEM. The kid's got such a mature head on his shoulders.
Yeah,
way above.
Seemed pretty humble too, didn't he?
Seems like a really good kid, right? So, yeah. I mean, I see a bit of Brock Motum in him. I know a lot of people have said the comparison with what's his name, Nick Kay, right? I see a bit of Brock Motum maybe in it.
Yeah, seeing that left-handed him. Yeah.
All right. Let's bring up the games for the week, right? I know.
It's a pretty small round, isn't it, compared to? Yeah, I think it's
the single, basically the singles. For
it is, isn't
singles,
it?
Right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Let's see.
What are your thoughts while you're putting these up of the Monday night game, Woods? I know it's something that I was probably glad sometimes not to have that Monday night, but I mean, I'm looking forward to tonight, obviously. But yeah, geez, that is a small round, isn't it?
Yeah. No, I mean, I really enjoy the Monday night game if it's played in the right area.
The
right market.
Yeah.
Putting it in Illawarra like 5 times in the last.
They had a few, didn't they?
No sense whatsoever.
Yeah.
Today's a good opportunity because it's a public holiday tomorrow with the Melbourne Cup in Melbourne.
Yeah.
And as you said, the crowd's going to be good. So let's get into it quickly, okay? Quickly, tip for tonight: Perth versus Melbourne. Okay, before we get into the next round, who you got?
It's head versus heart, isn't it? I'm going to have to say Melbourne will win that. Hopefully, I'm wrong. I'll say Melbourne will probably win by 6 or 7.
Yeah,
what about you?
I want Perth to win so that Sydney can challenge for that top spot. So I'm going to be right behind you boys today. All right.
Sounds good.
So the first game is going to be a 9:30 game on Friday night, Perth versus New Zealand. You'd like to think you could get that done at home, right?
Well, it's strange, isn't it? Not having any Thursday games and not having an early Friday game. So, yeah, looking forward to that one. I mean, it's a bit of travelling, isn't it, for Perth to, do the road trip there, and then they've got a short week and then playing that Friday night game. Obviously, New Zealand's going to do a pretty fair travel as well to get to Perth. But actually looking forward to that one. I mean, early call, I'm saying. Oh, actually, no, there's the Melbourne clash as well. But one of the games of the round. But, yeah, I think Perth should get up in that one.
Yep, agree. Cairns versus Illawarra. I mean, Cairns are going to have Patrick Miller back. Illawarra is looking really, really shot at the moment. So I'm going to say Cairns. Taj McCall will be a little bit fitter. So
Yeah, I think you're right. Cairns at home for that one, yeah.
Yep, Adelaide, Tasmania. Adelaide at home.
Yeah, I'll say Adelaide for that one. Maybe a bit of an upset there, but I think Adelaide have got the firepower that they could win. I think maybe Wiley needs to get going a little bit in this time. But I've actually liked Trae Kell this year. I was a little bit sceptical of the signing of him, but he's had some decent games, hasn't he?
He's been great, and he's staying fit, which he couldn't with South East Melbourne.
No, that's true.
I'm definitely going to go with Tasmania in that one. I'm going to disagree with you there. And, what's the name of this clash again?
Hey, you're the one that answers these. I was going to ask you that.
What's the name of this clash?
I don't know. I got no idea. Yeah.
All right, so who you got in the throwdown, man?
I've got to say United. I mean, look, until I see an L on that column there that's just filled with green there. But look, two really informed teams, right? Looking forward to that one. So that's a Sunday, the 2:00 game. Yeah, I mean, that's a must-watch game, isn't it, this one? I'll say Melbourne for that one.
Yep. I'm going to be going to Kudos Bank Arena again for another Sunday game. Can you believe it?
It's unbelievable, isn't it?
Sunday games, man.
Really, yeah.
There's a lot of other members talking to me and complaining about the same thing, man. So
what did those members give you, like a hero's welcome when you came back for your first game of the season, Woods, or what?
Happy to see me. Everyone's real happy to see me. I mean, we've got our little group chat, right? So we talk on it, and so they knew I was overseas, and I gave away my tickets to some of them to use in my absence. So
Nice.
But yeah, good to get back to the queue, and I think that'll be a really fun game to watch, Sydney versus Brisbane.
Yeah, for sure. Do you know if your boy Shannon Scott's any sign of coming back? I haven't heard much latest of him.
He'll be back in round 8 if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, okay.
I think he's got this week off, and he'll be back the week after.
Yeah, fair enough.
All right. So I know we gave Classic Pack a bit of a break last week. Now, I had my birthday, and then I nicked off to India
we know.
For a month.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that. So I opened up all my gifts, right, this weekend, which is really nice, hence why I'm wearing this. So I'm going to actually open a pack of cards today that a good friend of the show and guest host, Mookie, gave me. And he also wrote this card to me. So I just want to read this card and what Mookie wrote. Woody, happy birthday. It's a milestone for you. A mere one of many to come for you, I have no doubt. Whilst we've only known each other a relatively short time, I feel like I really know you. And we've established such a great bond. Kindred spirits. Keep on being an awesome dude, putting those positive vibes out to everyone, and keep on being a classic, like this pack. Much love, Mookie.
Now, what a legend. Yeah, shout out to you, Mooks.
Very nice, Mookie. Those some of the kindest words, and I agree, man. It's not about the time; it's the bond we've created over such a period of time with the life.
Such similar, interests and ways that we are in life and everything. So no, that's great. What's he got? He got NBA hoops as well, is it?
90. I think you might have known that the 90.
Yeah.
I think we've opened more packs of these than any others on this show, but I love my NBA hoops 1990.
Yeah,
so.
nice.
All right.
Let's do it.
You've been in bad form lately. So
I have not been in bad form. I take offence to that, Woods. Come on. Well, I only got like 13 out of 15 the last time we did it. Just because I got those Duke players wrong, or the North Carolina players, or whatever it was. I can't even remember now.
The Duke players, okay.
Duke players, all right.
This guy went to Villanova with Dwayne McClain, okay? I'm pretty sure he did with Dwayne McClain. He's a Boston Celtics. Boston Celtics 6'9" forward.
Ed Pickney?
Yep, Ed Pickney.
So is that good enough for you?
Yes, that is. Oh, these are actually the 89-90.
Ooh, 89. Oh, they are too. Yeah, they're slightly old ones. These are nice.
Right.
Is this the David Robinson rookie year one?
Yeah, this is.
Wow.
I've got that.
Same here. I actually bought that in a card shop in San Francisco when I was a young boy there. So, I like this set. These are cool.
Teammates with Dwayne McClain at Villanova, right?
Yeah, sounds right. Yep.
Oh, okay. The Shot. This guy is most known for being in the vision of one of the most famous shots in NBA history.
Has he got blonde hair and used to play for the Atlanta Hawks and Cavs as well?
Yes.
Craig Elo. Nice.
Craig Elo.
Nice. Look at that. It's an old school looking player if ever I've seen one.
Great player. Used to play golf with Michael Jordan. Moved into a great role in the front office with various teams, including the Boston Celtics. Now he's with the Utah Jazz. Famous guard, most known for his time at Boston.
Was he good at baseball as well?
Yes, he was.
Danny Ainge.
And Sacramento.
Oh, with the Kings as well, yeah. Wow.
Okay, big white guy. Went to Oral Roberts University from Boston. Selected by Orlando Magic in the 1989 expansion draft. 6'11" forward center.
Mark Allery?
Mark Akers.
Oh, Akers. That's actually, I got the name wrong. Okay, nice.
But I'll give you that was good.
Nice.
Okay. This guy would have dominated in any region. And he's got he would have dominated in any time,
Era.
right?
Yeah.
Any era, any era, right? He's had the most 5-5 games out of any player in NBA history, right? Okay. He's one of the greatest big men, if not the greatest big man of our generation. You know.
Akeem the Dream.
Yep. This is before he changed the name, so just.
Nice. That's okay. That's how you know how old it is. Yeah. That's a good card. That one.
Yep.
Yeah, he was great, wasn't he? Still mentoring some of the young big guys these days.
People say he was the biggest bust in NBA history, but he did put together some decent seasons. If it wasn't for injuries and the fact that the great man was selected after him.
Oh. Sam Bowie.
Yeah, Sam Bowie.
Show me the back of those cards as well, Woods, just to remind me. We got a photo as well. Oh, yeah, you got the headshot. That's a nice shot of him. What's his size and weight listed, Bowie? He was a big boy, wasn't he?
Yeah, 7'1", 240.
Wow. Yeah, no wonder they always took the big players over guards in those days, didn't they?
Okay, this is a 1989 NBA All-Star Game card. When you talk about the greatest centers of that era, you know, late 80s, early 90s, this guy often gets forgotten. We've opened up plenty of his. We've got plenty of his cards in other packs. Much into the NASCAR stuff at the moment. We know who I'm talking about.
Good old. Well, I'm not going to say John Concac, but yeah, definitely Brad Doherty.
Brad Doherty, and he just gets slept on, man. If it wasn't for
remember those All-Star cards?
Yeah.
Oh, I sure would have. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, went to Utah, college Utah. Signed as a free agent for the Boston Celtics in '89. Not Brian Shaw, but a similar name to Brian Shaw.
Kelvin Upshaw.
Kelvin Upshaw.
Hey, am I going okay so far? Am I still out of form? Nice.
Okay. Just having a go. Okay, this guy has a very similar name to an undrafted Miami Heat guard who recently signed with the LA Lakers. Okay, he's a 6'.
Jay Vincent.
Jay Vincent. Yes.
Nice.
All right. Yeah. My good clues are making your
I'm liking this as well because we haven't had this set on the show, have we? We've had the year after those silver sort of ones, but yeah, this is a great. Well done for Mookie sending these ones.
Yep, thanks Mookie. I'm not Marvin, but I am something else. Boston College, played for the New Jersey Nets. 6-foot guard.
John Bagley.
John Bagley.
The bag man. Yeah. Wow.
All right. Okay, great forward. Could do a little bit of everything. This is a Seattle Supersonics card. Obviously had some great years with the Indiana Pacers as well. I'm talking
Derek McKee.
Derek McKee.
Yeah, I was a big fan of Derek McKee there. He was a good two-way player.
Confidence, baby, confidence.
Rolando. Shout out to Lee Ellis there. I know Lee Ellis would love us pulling that one. Yeah. Nice.
Good clue, right?
That is good. I like your clues today.
The greatest little man in NBA history, I think. Probably the little man, right? Maybe not the greatest, but the most heralded. Like, everyone knows this guy, even not in basketball circles. The shortest man to ever play in the NBA.
Tyrone Bogues.
Yeah.
Oh, actually says Tyrone, not Muggsy as well. Yeah, it's a good one. Great in Space Jam as well.
Yeah. Maybe not the greatest little
No, but certainly well known. You're right. Had such a cult following, right? Yeah.
Still does.
Yeah.
And we did see a Bogues jersey at my party. We did indeed. Yeah. That was one. Yeah. Okay, my favorite center of that generation from Jamaica.
Mr. Sweaty himself,
The
Pat
man
Ewing.
with sweat in the snow, Patrick Ewing.
And look at those knee braces.
And what a legend, man. We would probably rate him as the greatest point guard of all time. This guy?
John Stockton? Magic Johnson.
Magic Johnson.
Oh, that's a nice card to pull.
Johnson.
So Akeem Olajuwon and Magic in this pack. That's pretty nice. And Patrick Ewing. Yeah, that's...
We got Mookie, you killed it, right?
Yeah.
Magic Johnson, we got Patrick Ewing, Muggsy Bogues, Rolando Blackman, another All-Star, Derek McKee, John Bagley, Jay Vincent, Kelvin Upshaw, Brad Doherty, NBA All-Star card, Sam Bowie, just a very iconic card, Akeem Olajuwon, Mark Akers, Danny Ainge, Craig Elo, and Ed Pinckney. So really nice pack. Really appreciate that.
Do I get every one of those right?
You can take whatever you want, man.
No, did I get them all right in the guesses?
Yeah, I think you got most of them right. I think you got maybe one wrong. Yeah?
I got a half mark, half score for that one. Yeah.
I'm just playing with you, man. I'm just playing with you. You're back in form. All right.
Thanks,
cool.
Woods.
All right, man. Great show. Really enjoyed it.
It was fun.
Why don't you just quickly go through all the particulars, where to find us, and all of that?
Yeah, absolutely. So, of course, please make sure you like and subscribe on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcast. We're available on all podcast channels. Social media-wise, we can be followed on Twitter /X, Throwback Hoops, on Instagram, throwback.hoops, our email address, throwbackhoopspodcast@gmail.com. Keep the questions coming, jersey suggestions, all those sort of things. We mention the Patreon each week. If you want to help us, just pledge a couple of dollars a month to help us with the production and editing and all the expenses associated with maintaining the podcast. We'd love if you could help us out with that. And should say as well, before we go as well, we've got a really big guest coming next week. I'm not going to give it away, right? But he's probably a extremely well-known NBL coach / player back in the day. Still people are very fond of this guy as well. So yeah, we're absolutely thrilled to be bringing on someone, this guy next week. I'm not going to say anymore. I don't want to give it away.
My dad is super excited. We must also say not just Australian, but a New South Wales basketball.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
That's it.
All right. Any final thoughts, bro?
No, hopefully the Wildcats in about an hour and a half. I mean, by the time this will be up, it'll be tomorrow. Hopefully the Wildcats will put in a decent effort tonight. But go the Wildcats and go the Hawks. And that's Atlanta Hawks, of course.
Right. And obviously, keep, as you said, keep sending any questions and tell us what your thoughts are on the City jerseys. We'd love to hear any feedback you've got, just echoing what you said.
Let us know how bad they are. That's right.
Yep. And yeah, from Robbie and me and the whole crew at Throwback Hoops, we'll do it all again next week. Much love.
Peace out.